Hello guys, I hope everything's going well on the table. So today we gonna analyze the session of one of our clients, and yeah, let's go. If you see the previous video, it's the same guy. Gonna get the sound. Okay, he defined his session time before starting. That's good things to do. When you want to play poker, it's very important to be in a very clean environment, to be focused on the table, to not watch video or film next to it. And it's also interesting to define a time limit for your session, so you know when it starts and when it ends. Okay, a6, you're opening that hand, yeah, at bottom of a range. The sizing is great. Jack 10 off in small blind. So when there is an open, this is a hand I'm gonna fold. Okay, your the opponent at the button is thinking. Okay, decided to call. So here we are on a spot where we can squeeze. It's very interesting to have this kind of play. Unfortunately, here we don't have the best end. Um, this end will not have a good playability post flop. I really prefer to have some suited connectors or some blocker with some aces, kings, or queen. But sometimes this is the hand you can squeeze here, and if you squeeze, it is a hand you need to squeeze very expensive, around 60, 70 cents. Okay, fold is correct. I don't think you're gonna play that hand. Yeah, it's a fold, nice. King 4 is at bottom. We're not gonna open that end. Same for that one. Okay, 5-6, that's a hand we can open if everyone fold. But folding is not a mistake. And here I really prefer to open because we are facing probably a recreative player in the big blind because he's not max blind. So I think I would open that hand. Okay, nice fold. Okay, folded. I guess you're gonna fold that one. So okay, not a lot of hands for this beginning of the session. Oh, so yeah, this is the hand we want to open. It's suited. It's connected. We will have a really good playability post flop. We got free bet here. This is the hand I can include in my call here, especially because the free bet sizing is not very high. This guy is out of position, so the sizing should be at least 4 times my open, so minimum 60 cents here. So that's why here I would call more often, especially with this type of hand. What you gonna do? Folding. Okay, I think you're losing some gain experiences here, some expected values. It's very important to not call only good hands when the opponent free bets. It's important to have this kind of hand in your range, so you will be able to have a combination on any kind of board. Okay, here you can call, you can fold. Both are okay for me. I prefer to call. I fold. Okay, so here you're against a limper with a7. This guy is not max buy-in, he's limping, so I'm pretty sure it's a bad player. So in that situation, uh, with a lot of hands in my range, I really like to isolate against him. So here I would bet like 40 cents to play against that guy. Sorry, not 40 cents, for big blind, so around 20 cents. And I can fold for sure. It seems that your range are more clean than the previous session, which is pretty good. Yeah, that's a clear fold. I would have just fold and see the end, so I'm able to, if someone called, I'm able to see with which kind of end my opponent shoves, and in that case, I could take some notes on him. So, for example, if you see that that he does that with I don't know, with random end, it's very important to take notes. So next time you meet him at the table, you will be able um, to know better his end. And even if you are in Zoom poker, it's very important to have some label for your opponents and to label people along the session. You can define different categories. There is the recreative player, there is the regular player, and the need player, mostly. Normally, I think you can define some color on your HUD or on the on PokerStar directly. It's very interesting to have this kind of color, so you're able to identify very fast good and bad player, and so it's easier for you to take decision. So in the PDF, in the player profiling section, you can find the description of the different profile and how to identify them. And here I suggest some color that you can use to put on the different opponents. So you're able, as I said, to identify very, very fast the category of your opponents. So here you decided to call with 7-10 suited. It's not a good idea. We really prefer to have a free bet range at the button against an opponent the cutoff. The only situation it would be interesting for you to call is when David DM is a bad player and there is some bad player in blinds. It doesn't seem that the one in big blind and David DM are bad player. Uh, you don't have information on them, and they have a pretty decent stack. But let's analyze that with GTO Wizard. So you have a clear idea of what to do at the button. So here we are on GTO Wizard. So we simulate and open the cutoff. And as you can see at the button, we mainly have a free bet range. The calling range is very, very small, so I would recommend to make a shortcut and to consider only having a free bet range at the button. And as you can see, here is the range you will mainly free bet. And you can see that 7-10 suited is not in that range. Okay, as played you called. What your opponent in big blind gonna do? Okay. Okay, he folded. So here you're in position. That's a good situation. Unfortunately, as played, here you have to fold. You don't have enough out to call. Nice one. Okay, you need to fold here. He opens on at never again, and he got called by hijack. They have pretty strong range, and your hand is not good enough. Okay, king 8 suited is very the bottom of your range. Hijack. Okay, so here you see to c bet. It's a great idea. Uh, the sizing is great. You can bet more expensive if you want. And when you got raise here, even if the equity you need is okay to have a king or a 8. Here you're against a recreative player. When he's aggressive against you, okay, just run away. You represent strength. You opened, you see bet, and when he decides to go back on you, just fold. Okay, here you have a pretty good hands. Here it's okay for me that you checked on the flop and you let your opponent see bet. And this is a board he will see bet very often because he might have some ace jack, some jack 10, some king queen, hands like that, or some spade draw or straight draw. So I like to check on the flop. On the turn when you absolutely need to take value, here I would bet much more expensive, like even more than the pot, because there is many draws on the board. Uh, so you want these draws to call. So I would bet very expensive. Okay, jack 8 suited. You see to open, it's very the bottom of the range, same as king 8. Sorry. I would open like this kind of hand, like out of my range, but only if I identified creative player in the blinds. So in small blind and in big blind. The small blind looks like he's like creative, but big blind I'm not sure. So I would only open that with kind of hand only if recreative player in blinds. Okay, king jack you're gonna open. Great. Ace 5. So this is the hand you're gonna open for sure. So at the button, I see that you open 3 big blind everywhere. It's okay for me. But at the button, please open 2.5. This is the position where we open most of our end. So we like to lower the sizing of the open. In poker, when you do an action very often, we like to do it very cheap. Keep that in mind. Okay, so you got called by the recreative player here. He's not Max Bain. And unfortunately, you got squeezed. So we don't have information on that guy, but you have to keep in mind that squeezing uh, doesn't represent a lot of strength. Here, it's a hand you could 4-bet in bluff and fold, uh, but I don't know the opponent in 5NL on PokerStar how they would react. So in that case, I would fold, but keep in mind that if you know that this guy is a reg, he will very often squeeze, and this is with this kind of hand, with some aces or kings as blocker. Uh, you can 4-bet with. Okay. Calling would be a mistake here. Yeah, we don't have enough statistics on that guy, but if you see that he has important free bet frequency or squeeze frequency, you can include that in your 4-bet range. Okay, fold. King 10 off. So it's a hand I would have called in big blind. Unfortunately, someone decided to free bet. Okay, King Jack suited. So you want to open that hand for sure. Okay, I really like what you're doing here. It's very let's say original. Yeah. I like that you change your sizing, especially here because you are in small blind against the big blind, and you are against a recreative player. So I really like that. It's very exploitive. I like it. But keep in mind that normally you don't change your sizing depending on your hand. You need to open always the same amount, especially on under the gun button. But in this kind of situation, when you're 1v1 and against a recreative, he absolutely doesn't care about the sizing. So I really like that you increase the sizing here with a good hands. Okay, cold. So here it's hand you want to see bets. Nice. I see that you see bet very fast. Please take your time. Like take half time of your bankroll before betting. Yep. Nice, perfectly played. Oh, 5-6 suited. Okay, so here you're calling. So I think if you saw the previous spot, so as we said, we really prefer to have a free bet range at the button. And this is the hand I would include in that free bet range for sure. It has good playability. And what is interesting with this kind of hand is that the free bet call range of the opponent at the cutoff will mainly be composed of Broadway suited pocket pairs, and this is you're not gonna play the same type of board. So it's very interesting. For example, when you have um, a straight draw, flush draw, and with on small board, and when he has a pocket pair over the card on the board, it's very interesting, and this is a situation where you can take maximum value. So this end are very interesting. So it's good that you play that end, but I would free bet. And when he bets expensive on that board, I would prefer to fold if I don't have information on that guy. Here, if you call, you're only playing for 6 and 5s. The equity is very low, so I would fold. Nice. Oh, sorry. Okay. Here you folded too fast. I really like to call suited hands at the big blind. I think I would have called. And keep in mind that it could be very interesting for you. Or for example, if Super Duty open, I don't know, GPT ZTZ decided to call, then you just need to add 10 cents to play like a 50 cents pot. So it's very interesting for you in terms of equity. Okay, ace 8 will open. Ace 5 is too low from under the gun. You should open ace 10 minimum under the gun. Okay, so here you got mean free bets by that opponent. You just need to add like 15 cents to a 60 cents pot. So you need 25% equity. You have to keep in mind that the stack of your opponent is very low. So this is a situation where I would call and I would go all in if there is an ace on the board. So yeah, you can't fold. You absolutely need to call. You need 25% equity, okay. There is 3 aces left in the deck. So the probability that you have one on the flop or turn or river is much more important. And you will sometimes win when your opponent is not aggressive and you have ace high. You can win sometimes. But if you have information that people do that with extremely good hands on PokerStar Zoom, then that's a good fold. I understand that you're playing Zoom for the review, so we can see many hands. But keep in mind that I really recommend to play normal table. So you can analyze player more deeply. You can take some note on them. There is like kind of a dynamic that is created at the table, so it's much more interesting for you. And yeah, I really recommend that. So here, I really like that you isolate with that hand, even if it's not strong. You will be in position against the recreative with hands with good playability. So perfect. Okay, king 4, I will open if everyone fold. Okay, it looks like it's your sizing. 6 big blind. Okay, that's a bit weird. If you want to have a specific sizing like the small blind, it's a good idea. But I would recommend maximum 4 big blind. I see some people doing that. I think it's a good strategy, but not more than 4 big blind. But if you have in mind the previous situation and you want to have a big pot against recreative, it's also a good idea. Okay, here you want to see bet, even if you have bottom pair, you have a really good advantage on that board, and you can make fold some end that that beats you already, like pocket 5, pocket 6, some 7. When I decided to call on the flop, I will just decide to check on the turn. Yeah, you have to wonder why you are betting. Um, I don't think you're betting in value. If you bet in value here, it means that you think that Alberto will call a hand uh, worse than yours. So like pocket freeze, pocket two, or like some random king queen, queen jack, things like that, or some draw like 5 6. So if you're in value, this is the kind of hand you will value. But here, if you're bluffing, so you're trying to make fold a better hand than yours, so it means that you need to make fold like a 7 or pocket 8, 9, 10, this kind of hand. So I really need to know your thinking process on that bet. In my opinion, here I can't justify a value bet here uh, because your hand is too bad, and I don't really understand the bluff here, especially because we have a hand, we have already a pocket four, and we have some showdown value here. So I don't understand the value and I don't understand the bluff here. So for that reason, I would check. Okay, same river. You bet extremely fast. Uh, the sizing is weird here because if you want to value bet here, the only sizing you have is shove. So you take all his money. Here you decide to bet half pot. As the previous card, you don't need to bluff here and there is no value to take. So I wouldn't bet here. And yeah, unfortunately you got called by a better hand. And especially when if you're bluffing here, take your time. Don't bet very fast. Okay, nice open. You got free bet, unfortunately. You need to fold. As I said in the previous video, it's very important that you are max buy-in every time. So here you only have €2.50. So if you have a good hands and you're able to go all in, you will be only able to win twice your stack. So it's not worth it for you. And this has a really bad expected value. Okay, queen jack off, yeah, bottom of the range. Open is correct. So here you're again the bad player here because it is not max buy-in, and you see that he don't bets. This is not something I would recommend. Small limits. So here the fold is correct. Fold is correct. Seven deuce. Okay, yeah, you're adding some money. That's perfect. Okay, really nice. So here someone limps. You have good hand. You isolate. That's perfect. You can increase a little bit your sizing, like to 20 cents, 25 cents. Okay, here your opponent decided to don't bet. I think I would call one time, actually. Uh, you have some good equity here. There is 2-4 left in the deck and 3 aces. So that's 5 card. So you need 20% equity, approximately, to have 2 pairs or a set, trips of 4. He is betting half pot, so you have 20. You need 25% equity to call because he's betting half pot. So your equity is lower than the pot odds here, but you're in position, and sometimes your opponent is bluffing, and you're just gonna win with your showdown value. So here I would call. Okay, nice open. That's correct. Jack 10 off. Open is correct. Okay, this is a hand you want to open under the gun. Not every time, but okay. It really looks like that people are very, very aggressive on PokerStar or 5NL. Um, so I would recommend to play to reduce your range at early position, especially under the gun and hijack. Uh, it looks like that people are very aggressive, free bet and squeeze a lot. So if you're opening loose end at early position, you'll get often free bet, and so I think you need to have a more restrictive range at this position to only open good ends. Okay, guys, if you want to have the same kind of analysis for your gameplay, you can contact me directly on Fiverr. Here, you can click on the search bar and search for Coach Poker. You will find me just over there. We can have some live coaching and also some session analysis like we are doing right now. So just click on that and contact me so we can discuss the best coaching for you guys. For now, the price is very, very low. The first hour of coaching is only €5. That will allow me to have more review on my profile and to be more referenced. So please contact me, guys. Here we have King Queen offsuit. So here it's end. So the strategy in big blind when there is an open small blind is that we're gonna call hands with good playability, like connected, suited, and we really want to include in our free bet range offsuit hands, and especially with especially this kind of hands. So here I would free bet. Calling is not a big mistake. Okay, we find a good flop. We have to keep in mind that the range of small blind is very, very wide. It's supposed here to see bets very with a very high frequency. Uh, so here we have a clear call. Here I don't understand your raise. Are you trying to take value or are you bluffing? It's not very clear for me. Here we don't need to raise because we will isolate ourselves against good hands like aces. Uh, Here he will never call a worse hand than yours. Never. If you raise here. If you call, you keep hands. You keep hands that you beat in his range. If you just call, you can have some jack, some king 10, some queen x, hands like that. Here, if you get call, you can be sure that you get call only by better hands than yours. So it's a bluff, but you're bluffing with a king. Doesn't make sense. So here, just call. The move here is correct if you have random hands like I don't know 7-8 suited and your opponent c bets he c bet very small. Uh, the fact that he c bet very small is telling you that he has a weak hand. So I like the fact that you raised with this kind of hand like 7-8, 8-9. I don't know, pocket 5, pocket 4, this kind of hand. Raising here I think is a really, really great solution. But here with a king, it doesn't make sense. You really have to wonder when you bet why you're betting. If you're betting for value, for bluff, or for protection. Okay, this is what I wrote in the when to bet section in my PDF. So there is three reasons: the value betting, the protection betting, and the bluffing bets. For each of the bets, you have to wonder. So if I'm value betting, I want to take the most of your hand against your opponents. This is the key. If I want to protect, it means that I have a good hands, but the next card on the turn or on the river will scare me or will block the action. So I need to take the money right now. And the last reason is bluffing. So in that case, you want to make an opponent hands fold better than your own. If you are not in one of these reason, value, protect, or bluffing, just check. King 4 of this is not turn. I will open the button. This is really the bottom of our range. Okay, opening that one. A deuce. I wouldn't open that and cut off. Ace 4, so it's an I will free bet against small blind. I will probably call against the button. And here I'm folding for sure. Here you can think like, okay, I need to add 10 cents to win a very big pot. But you're against under the gun, hijack cutoff. They have a lot of aces and with better kicker than yours. So you will, if you call here, you will be in a very tough situation. So as played, for sure I'm checking, and I will fall on the flop. Perfect. Tens. And I will include my free bet range for sure. And you really need to increase your free bet range. I see that you have 0% on 70 ends. I know that as we saw, you didn't have a lot of good ends. Keep in mind that you need to have approximately 10, 11, 12% of free bets in general at every position. Okay, I think it's too expensive here. People will fold too much. I would do that, as I said, only against recreative player. Okay, pair of three. The opening, nice. So everyone folded, I guess. Okay. AC is perfect. Nice. You use the same sizing as usual. Okay, we have a free bet. That's perfect. So here a mistake would be to just call because we will be out of position. It means that Perish will play after you. So you really want to take value right now. Here you are in a wonderful spot where we have a cold call on the big blind. So here you need to forward for sure. The sizing will be very important. Okay, the sizing is a bit too expensive. you need to forbet a little bit less, like 1.2.3. Here you commit 30 big blind. That's a lot. And if you have a sizing of forbet that is too high, it means that you will not be able to fold when an opponent shove, because the equity, the money you will need to add um, will be, or I don't know to say that. If you forbet too much, when your opponent gonna shove, you will need to call because your equity, uh, because of the equity. When you forbet with a lower size, so you will be able to have some forbet bluff, and you will be able to fold. This is important because you don't want to call every shove when you forbet. Maybe at this limit, but when you will improve your gameplay and go to higher limits, it's very important to have some forbet bluff. That's why you can't bet expensive like that. Perfect. Wow, kings after that. Hope we have some action. Excellent. We got the four bets. A free bet, sorry. So here, same situation. Yeah, we're gonna four bets. So yeah, it's very expensive here. So yeah, please use a lower sizing for bets. And also take your time to four bet. You can scare your opponent if you four bet too fast. Okay. Make it look like it's a decision for you. You don't know if you want to four bet or not. Okay. Take your time. Okay, you decided to fold. Okay, fold is correct. So it's a hand we want to open, and it's a hand I really like to free bet also. Ace Jack of suit. King Queen suited, perfect hands. So here I think it's better to free bet than calling. Okay, you will probably not decide to call. Okay, you call. I really prefer to free bet here. Imagine someone squeeze next to you. You will call for sure, but you will be in a tough situation. Here you're in position, so you really on love again, so you really want to increase the pot size. Okay, so here you got called by big blind and love again. Okay. So we didn't play a lot of hands against that guy, but we can see that it looks very neat. Only played 8% of his hand, and here he's under the gun, so he has a very strong range. So here he might have some ace king, some king queen. He can have some eights, some nines, some jack tens, and like that. And for big blind, he has a capped range. It means that he can't have some really good hands here because he would have free bets. So he doesn't have AC, he doesn't have kings, he doesn't have queens, this kind of hand. So here his best hand will be I don't know, a set of 8. I don't think so. I think he would have 3 bets. So best hand he could have here is some Jack 10 suited with double draw, like straight draw, flush draw, things like that. When he bets here, we have to be careful because, as I said, he has a very strong range. He might have some aces, kings, queens, things like that. And he might have some set for sure. So here I really don't like the raise because you will isolate yourself against good hands. Do you expect him to call a worse hand than yours when you raise like that? So imagine that you're in his situation, your opponent raise like that, what hands you gonna call? So if I'm Felidor here, I will call some ace king, some aces for sure, and I will call very big draws like Jack 10 suited, um, and some set. Okay, I'm pretty sure he fold Jack 10 offsuit, Jack 10 suited, but off diamond or club. So here for me is really bad. If he calls, we are in a very tough situation. You're value betting here, but when you do that, do that with really good hands. Okay. I don't even think if you're trying to value here, I don't even think that he's calling like king 10 or king jack. Okay, and when he when he took his time like that on the flop to call, it looks very suspicious. Because on this kind of board, he has a good hand or he doesn't. But when he it looks like he's trying to fake thinking. He checks. So here it looks like it's a good card for you. Uh, but as we said, so now you beat aces for sure. Uh, but all the draw he called on the flop uh, are now have flush. Is set a full now. Uh, so yeah, I don't understand what I'm. If you're betting here, you're betting in value, but I don't think you value much hands. Uh, I really, it's really complex for me to see which hands you're valuing here. I don't even think that he's calling aces here on the zone. Yeah, the only hands you're value betting here is some low king, king jack suited. Yeah. So here, well, in any case, as played, you raise on the flop. Okay. So yeah, just fold. You represent a king for sure. You can have a king, and I think he knows that you might have a king. You bet expensive on the flop and on the turn. You also you have the right to have a flush draw on the flop that you raised and flush on the turn. So you have in your range, you have really good hands. Okay, you have some trips of king. You have some ace x of spade. So you have really good hands. So when he's raising here, just run away. Okay, okay, for sure. As we said, he only have good hands here. You represent a lot of strength, so when he does that, you can be sure that you lose in that spot. Okay, and you just stop the session here, I guess. No more hands. Okay. Yeah, it was a very interesting session. I think the most important point is keep in mind always why you are betting. It's very important to ask yourself the question: am I value betting? Am I protecting? Or am I bluffing here? I think you should avoid most of the raise you do with only top pair. I saw that uh, you did it with multiple times. So here you did it on the flop with king queen, and you previously did it with another hand when you raised on your opponent bet. Uh, it's a really good strategy to have to do this kind of raise, but it's very important to do that with really good hands or really good draws, or with absolutely with an absolute bluff. Okay, in your situation, it's very weird because you do that with hands that is already done. You already have a pair, so you don't want to bluff, and the value bets is very thin, and you will for sure isolate against really good hands. I really hope you enjoy the video, guys. Don't hesitate to add a comment if you have a question of on any hands analysis. Um, don't hesitate also to follow the channel for new videos. And I wish you a great luck on the table. See you guys. Bye bye.